There's a quiet kind of exhaustion no one talks about. Not burnout from work, but from pretending you're okay when you're not. From forcing positivity when your mind feels like a battlefield. From scrolling through everyone's filtered wins while you silently drown in doubt. And when you finally search for answers, the world throws slogans at you. Just think positively. Focus harder, be strong. But no one tells you how to do that when your own thoughts are the loudest thing pulling you apart. Real peace doesn't come from louder motivation. It comes from structure, from mental discipline, from building a system that protects your attention, filters your thoughts, and returns you to clarity again and again. This episode gives you that structure. Inside are 9 rules, clear, honest, powerful, that help you stop overthinking, stop comparing, and finally take back control. No hype, no fake positivity, just a quiet mindset that works under pressure. Welcome to Stoic Philosophy Daily, where your story matters. Share your experience or your biggest struggle below. Every comment you leave is a gift. Here, your voice matters. We read with care, answer with heart, and treat your journey as part of our own. This is more than a channel. It's a circle of strength. If you're ready to stop chasing calm and start creating it, drop in the comments. I reclaim my peace. And let's begin. 1. Redefine what positive really means. Most people think positive thinking means pretending you're okay, pretending the chaos doesn't bother you, but that fake smile you wear weighs more than it looks. Because real positivity isn't denial, it's direction. Life will always test you, delays, mistakes, misunderstandings. Most people try to outrun the feelings. The Stoic learns to read them, to translate pain into practice. Someone insults you. Will you spiral or step back and say, "That's their lens, not my identity"? A setback happens. Do you collapse or ask, "What is this teaching me?" Marcus Aurelius said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." This is not just philosophy, it's psychology. Your mind is constantly interpreting every text, every silence, every rejection. And if you're not choosing those interpretations, they're choosing you. And most of them are not kind. So start here. Catch the first label, that first reaction, that story your mind tells before you even speak. Then ask, does this make me stronger or smaller? If it shrinks you, rewrite it, not with lies, but with strength. Your brain is the narrator. Do not let it turn into your critic. Become the editor. Try this. Today, track just one recurring thought. Something you say to yourself often. I'm behind. I always mess this up. No one sees my effort. Then challenge it. What is a stronger meaning that is also true? Repeat that instead. Over time, this simple habit rewires how you see setbacks, criticism, and even yourself. At Stoic Daily, we believe positivity is not pretending. It's learning to assign meaning that builds strength, not shame. Drop in the comments. I choose the meaning. What is one thought you will reframe today? 2. Your thoughts don't all deserve a vote. Your brain is a brilliant advisor, but a reckless ruler. And yet that is how most people live. Every thought gets treated like truth. Every fear gets a seat at the table. Every insecurity becomes a reason to pause. You do not decide with clarity. You react with confusion. That is not freedom. That is mental autopilot. You feel nervous and your mind whispers, something's wrong. You feel resistance and it says, maybe you're not ready. A single comment triggers the voice. They probably think you're stupid. And you believe it, not because it's right, but because you never questioned it. Here is the shift. Just because a thought arrives does not mean it gets to stay. Epictetus reminded us, it's not things that disturb us, but our opinions about them. And some of those opinions are not even yours. They are habits, fatigue, the echoes from yesterday that never got challenged. Imagine your thoughts like a room of advisors. Some are helpful, others are chaos in a suit. You are not meant to obey all of them. You are meant to lead. You decide who gets airtime, who gets to hear, and who gets ignored. Try this. This week, every time your mind throws out a fear or doubt, pause. Ask it 3 questions. Is this useful? Is this kind? Is this empowering? If not, acknowledge it and move on. You are not the voice in your head. You are the one who decides what it means and what gets to stay. At Stoic Daily, we believe peace does not come from silencing your thoughts, but from learning which ones deserve your energy. Drop "I choose my focus" in the comments. What idea will you stop giving power to this week? 3. Audit your attention, or it will be spent for you. If your mind feels chaotic, it's not always because life is loud. It's because your attention is leaking silently. You're not burned out from doing too much. You're burned out from focusing on too many meaningless things at once. Unread messages, endless scrolls, loops of self-doubt and mental rehearsals. Every tiny distraction adds weight, and soon your day feels heavy before it even begins. Most people blame exhaustion on sleep or willpower, but deep down, it's often attention poverty. Your energy is stolen by places that give nothing back. Marcus Aurelius warned, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. And where your attention goes, your thinking follows." So pause and ask, where is your attention going today? What are you feeding? Doubts, gossip, fake urgency? Because whatever you feed grows, and whatever grows shapes you. Try this. Do a brutal attention audit. List your top 3 time and energy leaks. Then ask, what am I giving energy to that gives nothing back? Maybe it's circular conversations, and perhaps it's doom scrolling. Perhaps it's checking who watched your story 5 times a day. Then take action. Mute, unfollow, exit. Not because you're cold, but because your attention is sacred. Your energy creates your inner life. If you don't protect it, the world will waste it for you. At Stoic Daily, we believe clarity is something you recover, not something you wait to feel. Drop in the comments, "I protect my focus." What's one distraction you'll cut this week? 4. Protect your mind like a garden. Imagine this. Your mind is like a quiet house, but every morning you open all the windows and let in traffic noise, strangers yelling, and cold winds from places far away. That's what happens when you absorb everything online without a filter. You begin your day with other people's stress, anger, and envy, and none of it was yours to begin with. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." But most of us do the opposite. We give energy to things far beyond our reach. We argue with headlines, stress over other people's opinions, and compare ourselves to carefully edited lives on a screen. No wonder we feel scattered. Here's the shift. Not everything that touches your mind deserves to stay. You need a gatekeeper, a mental filter, something that asks, is this mine to carry? Can I influence this today? Will this help me act better right now? If the answer is no, let it go. This is where real peace starts, not from controlling the world, but from protecting your focus. When you apply this filter, you reclaim emotional space. You begin to notice the difference between real problems and borrowed chaos. And something subtle shifts. You stop trying to fix everything and start anchoring yourself in what's truly yours. Try this. Next time you feel overwhelmed, don't react. Breathe. Ask, whose voice is this? Is it mine or something I picked up online? Then redirect. Do something physical. Walk, clean, breathe slowly. Let action pull you back to the center. You'll feel your mind return to stillness, not by force, but by filtering. This is not a retreat. It's a command, the power to choose what enters your mental world and what gets blocked. Over time, you'll discover a new kind of strength, the kind that doesn't shout but refuses to carry what was never yours. At Stoic Daily, we believe protecting your peace isn't avoidance, it's clarity. Drop in the comments. I choose what stays. What's one distraction you'll filter out starting today? 5. Live by your inner scorecard. There comes a moment in life when you pause and realize most of what you've been chasing isn't even yours. The praise, the likes, the silent hope that someone will finally say, "You did well." But that kind of validation is a drug, and every hit only lasts a moment. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more, that is poor." And often, what we crave isn't money, it's approval. But when you rely on external applause to feel worthy, your peace is no longer yours. It belongs to the crowd. And crowds change their minds fast. The Stoic doesn't play that game. They build an inner scorecard. They ask not, "Did they like it?" but, "Did I stay true to what I believe?" It's not ego, it's alignment. Because there is only one person you cannot lie to, and that's the one in the mirror. When you live from the inside out, your actions stop performing for applause and start building actual strength. You move with clarity even when nobody's watching. You stay grounded even when misunderstood. You stop chasing approval from people who don't share your vision and start respecting your own boundaries again. Try this. Go silent for a while. Log out. Step away. Then ask yourself this uncomfortable question. What would success look like if no one ever knew I achieved it? Whatever that answer is, that's your truth. That's your compass. Write it down, live it quietly, and watch how, ironically, the world starts paying attention. Not because you asked for it, but because you no longer need it. At Stoic Daily, we believe peace begins when validation ends. Comment below. I measure my life from within. What's one boundary you'll start honoring again? 6. Change the script, change the self. There's a voice that narrates your life louder than any other. It doesn't shout, it whispers, it doesn't ask permission, it defines who you think you are. And here's the danger. Most of us don't realize we're the ones who keep rehearsing it. I've always been this way. I never follow through. I'm not cut out for that. But where did that story begin? You weren't born doubting yourself. Someone gave you that script. Or worse, you wrote it during moments of pain and never edited it again. Identity isn't a label, it's a habit. And like all habits, it's shaped by repetition. The more you repeat a story, the deeper it carves into your biology. Your brain literally rewires to match the identity you affirm. That's why someone who says, "I'm broken," will reject proof of their growth. That's why someone who calls themselves unlovable will flinch when kindness shows up. The Stoics didn't build identity through feelings. They built it through action. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." He meant this. You don't wait to believe before behaving. You behave until belief follows. This is where modern science and ancient wisdom meet. Neuroscience calls it self-directed neuroplasticity. Every action is a vote for who you are becoming. Each moment you show up differently, you chip away at the old identity and begin writing a new one. But beware. Part of you may cling to dysfunction, not because it feels good, but because it feels familiar. Being the unreliable one gives you an excuse to hide. Being the anxious one justifies not taking risks. And letting go of those labels feels like losing yourself. But it isn't a loss, it's liberation. Try this. For the next 3 days, write down every sentence you say to yourself. When you make a mistake or hesitate, then read it out loud. Would you say those same words to someone you love? If not, Stop telling them yourself. Rehearse the identity you want. Speak the belief before it feels true, because your brain is listening, and your story will follow your script. At Stoic Daily, we believe self-mastery starts with self-honesty. Comment below. I choose to rewrite my story. What identity are you ready to outgrow? 7. Build your micro-win machine. Most people are waiting for one big win to save them, one breakthrough, one lucky break. But life doesn't change in one loud moment. It shifts quietly, brick by brick, one small, repeatable win at a time. Your brain doesn't believe in your dreams. It believes in your patterns. You can visualize your future all day, but if you give your mind zero proof that you're changing, it will always default to self-doubt. That's not a weakness, that's protection. The brain demands receipts before it rewires belief. So what do? You stop chasing motivation and start collecting micro wins, small, consistent proof that you show up, not perfectly, but daily. This is your micro win machine, a system built on one intentional victory per day. It could be finishing one task without distraction and moving your body, even for 10 minutes. The journaling instead of doom scrolling. These moments seem small, but your nervous system remembers. Logged, I showed up. Each micro win is a vote for the kind of person you want to become. You don't need to feel confident, just act like someone you respect. Confidence comes later. This is how you generate internal momentum, the emotional fuel most people haven't felt in years. The heaviness you carry isn't laziness, it's friction, the weight of inaction and shame stacked over time. Try this. For 7 days, set one micro win per day. Write it down the night before. Make it ridiculously doable. No negotiations, no skipping. When your brain tries to bargain, just whisper, "This is how we change." After 7 days, reflect. How does your energy shift when you're building instead of criticizing? So what starts to feel possible when you collect evidence instead of waiting for permission? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one." Start stacking those small wins. The system will take over when the emotion fades. At Stoic Daily, we believe the smallest proof builds the strongest self. Comment below. I cast my vote today. What's your micro win? 8. Clean the mind before it collapses. Most people protect their bodies every day, but leave their minds wide open. They shower, sanitize, lock their doors, yet allow stress, resentment, and noise to pile up until clarity collapses into chaos. Then they wonder why they feel broken. This isn't a weakness, it's a buildup, and the buildup can be clean. Your mind is not a dumping ground, it's a garden. Whatever you allow in grows. The moment you wake up and check your phone, you invite strangers into your mental space. Bad news, curated joy, manufactured outrage. Your nervous system reacts instantly. The anxiety isn't yours, but your body doesn't know that. This is emotional inflammation, quiet, heavy, and real. And without boundaries, it accumulates. You may think you're killing time, but you're training your nervous system. Constant noise conditions your mind to stay alert, tense, and reactive, even when nothing is actually wrong. Emotional hygiene begins with curation, deciding what earns access to your inner world. Attention isn't just focus, it's an energy transfer. Every careless scroll leaks peace. Try this today. Schedule 15 minutes of silence. No screens, no background noise, just breathe. At first, it will feel uncomfortable. That's withdrawal. Stay with it. Let the noise settle. Slowly, you'll begin to feel the difference between what is truly yours and what you've absorbed without consent. From there, choose differently. Read something that nourishes. Walk instead of scrolling. Clear one drawer. Say no without explaining yourself. The Stoics didn't value simplicity for virtue alone. They valued it for sanity. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, "If you seek tranquility, do less." That includes digital noise, emotional clutter, and mental excess. At Stoic Daily, we believe peace is not found. It is protected. Comment below, "I guard my mental space." What is one input you will clean up today? 9. The comparison detox, reclaiming your rhythm. It happens so subtly, you barely catch it. A scroll, a glance, a post. They're smiling with their new house. You're fixing a leaky ceiling. They're speaking on stages. You're still trying to speak kindly to yourself. And before you know it, your worth begins to shrink. Not because your life got worse, but because someone else's looked better. This is how comparison poisons us. Not with shouts, but whispers. You're behind. You're not enough. You should be more. And the tragedy? You start to believe it. You question progress that once felt meaningful. You abandon goals that once lit you up, and all because someone else's path looked shinier on the outside. But here's the truth, you're not falling behind. You're just disconnected from yourself. You stepped out of your own lane and started dancing to someone else's rhythm. Life isn't a race, it's a rhythm, and every soul moves to a different beat. Try this. Think of your journey like music. Would you judge a cello by the tempo of a drum? Would you force your own growth to match someone playing a different instrument entirely? Then why do you do it with your life? When you shift your attention from comparison to creation, everything recalibrates. Start creating more than you consume. Build something with your hands. Journal one honest page. Practice your craft. Nurture your relationships. The more you make, the less you compare, because self-respect is built through alignment, not applause. Epictetus once said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." Why? Because real growth is quiet. It's not for performance, it's for presence. So next time you feel triggered by someone else's life, pause. Don't shrink, don't compete. Ask yourself, do I really want what they have? Or do I just want to feel how they look confident, peaceful, proud? Because those feelings don't come from copying others. They come from becoming yourself. At Stoic Daily, we believe your lane is sacred. Comment below, "I reclaim my rhythm." What's one way you'll create, not compare, this week? Weave the life that matters. If there's one truth I want you to walk away with, it's this. There's a version of you, calmer, stronger, focused, that's not trapped in survival mode. It's waiting just beyond the noise. Not the noise of traffic, but the noise of distraction. The noise of pretending you're okay when you know you've been slipping. That version of you doesn't need hype, it needs clarity. And clarity is earned in silence. In choices that don't get claps, in small wins that nobody sees, but you feel them. You build from there. Each choice today is a thread, and one thread becomes a pattern. One pattern becomes a life, but only if you're the one weaving it. So don't just be moved. Move. Choose now, not later, not next week, now. Close one energy leak, replace one toxic habit, reclaim one forgotten rhythm, not because you're broken, but because you've outgrown the person who needed those old patterns to survive. This is what real positive thinking means. Not empty mantras, but conscious becoming. Becoming 1% more honest, 1% more consistent, 1% more you. At Stoic Philosophy Daily, we believe that stillness isn't where life stops. It's where your true life begins. Drop a comment below. I'm ready to become. What's the one habit, mental or emotional, you'll rewrite today?
If you're seeking more, discover the full path on my channel.
Stoic Philosophy Daily.